restrict us in the type of activities that we can put on for students. So it was the first Freshers Week that we ran a really comprehensive program of events. So we really put the money behind it. There's 59 events across 4 campuses, and we didn't stop there. Then we've helped societies and individual students run events and throughout the year, but there's certainly a lot more work that needs to be done in that area. So the core function of a student union is to represent students, and it's certainly been a key focus for me over this past while. Last year when I was VP, I introduced a policy to council to increase its size. So it's now 4 times larger than it used to be, and I take my lead from the policies that student council put forward. The whole point of having a larger student council is that we need as many people involved and shaping what the union does as possible. So the council have shaped most of my campaigning work this year. I ran suicide awareness training for over 100 students. I helped run an international week, a love week, and mental health week. And they also helped lobby the university to publish hidden course costs. So they're now going to be in prospectuses from next year. So these are costs that sit outside of your normal fees. So people can budget better and have a better understanding of what they get themselves into. It's been a difficult year for Ulster and a difficult year for higher education in general in Northern Ireland. There's been serial underfunding of higher education, and there's been significant cuts in Ulster this year. So about 1,250 student places are going to be reduced over the next 3 years, and 250 staff. So it's pretty significant. Students here in Northern Ireland are underfunded by about £1,700 per student compared to England and Wales. So I've been lobbying politicians in Stormont and MPs in Westminster to make sure that students and the fund of higher education is on the agenda. And so I've met with politicians from all political parties, and I've met with the Down Minister and Stephen Farry. I've also met with MPs over in Westminster, and just last week I was speaking with the First Minister to make sure the students are kept on the agenda. I've also worked closely with our national union, NUSUSI, to help develop a student manifesto so that student issues will be on the agenda for the May elections. I want, obviously, for you to vote for me for 1 more year, and so that I can continue to be the voice for students. If you want to follow my campaign, I have a Facebook and a Twitter, Mandarin for President. Thank you.
Thanks, Colin. So the first question is, what do you think are the main challenges for the year ahead?
As I said in my speech, I think the main challenges for higher education here will be the underfunding that we're receiving at the minute. And there needs to be an investment, and I believe it needs to be a public investment in higher education. I don't think that students should pay fees. I think the value of higher education, both the economy and socially, needs to be recognised by politicians, and that fees shouldn't restrict people in accessing education. I think the major challenge for the year ahead will be what importance the programme for government is to be moving investments to fund on higher education.
Thank you. And finally, the next question is, what are you doing to protect academic quality with current course closures and funding cuts?
This has been particularly pertinent for this campus, and I'm sure you're going to all see the announcement that the School of Modern Languages is closing, but it's not the only course that's either been consolidated or cut from this campus. I've been working with senior management as well as with deans and heads of school to make sure that the resource is put in place so that the academic quality isn't affected when these courses are being taught out or being moved. And I'm continuing to lobby the university for more resources to make sure that the money's there, to make sure that the experience isn't affected.
Thank you, Colin. So that brings us to the end of the round of questions. So what I will ask as well at this point is that there's questions and sheets on the table, so if anybody have any questions for any of the candidates, and you can also tweet with the hashtag LeadSSU, USU, and you can tweet questions there. And then Colin, we just have 1 minute for me to sum up why for the issue to give you everything.
As I say, my main focus and it's been a focus because of the cuts, but the main focus is around the funding of higher education. That's the funding of fees, but it's also the funding of maintenance grants, of student hardship loans, of grants for nursing students, and the surrounding cost of higher education, whether it's the cost of a house that is not the quality that you think it is, or the cost of transport. So I'll be making sure that politicians and senior management in the university know that these are issues for students, and I'll have a fight to rectify them. And as I say, on Facebook, Twitter, and Snapchat, and I'll be handing out manifestos at the end of something more. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. So Paul will not be standing as president for USU for the coming year, and it will be uncontested, but there will also be the option for Ron, which will be able to create the nominations, and I'll be looking for your vote next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday through the portal. So can I please ask up the candidates for sports president? We've got Kieran, James, and Liam.
What? No, on YouTube. Right.
What is it?
Of course. I can't even
Yeah, so again, you can submit questions via the hashtag, which is hashtag LeadUSU, and president, and also through us some questions here in the front as well. So your candidates for sports presidents are Kieran Chambers, Liam Movena, and James O'Mullen. And first up is Kieran. Kieran, you have 3 minutes for your opening speech.
Hi folks, I'm Kieran Chambers. I'm a current final year student on Jordanstown campus studying sport and exercise science. My sport background, I played a bit of Gaelic, a bit of football, and tennis when I was very young, and then the sport I've kind of stuck at was badminton. I've competed for Ireland at senior level, Northern Ireland at the Commonwealth Games in 2014, and then youth for Ulster University at the European Championships and the Irish Universities, which we actually won last year. I'm a current coach for Ulster Badminton for Ulster University, working with a range of primary school children right up to international junior athletes. I've taken on a couple of administration roles within sports development. Last year I was working for Ulster Sports Outreach, which is a unit within Ulster University, doing different sport for development programs, looking at how to increase or improve communities through sport. I've also taken on the chairperson at Jordanstown Badminton Club, which I actually set up myself 2 years ago. The club now has over 40 members, which we're really pleased with. And it's just a nice way to get involved in the sports union, and get to know how things work, and also meet some people. I've worked as a mentor for disadvantaged young men, mostly in the Greater Belfast area through a program called Uusu. I believe in my experience in all those aspects of sport, as an athlete, as a coach, as an administrator and a mentor, gives me a good variety of skills to help lead your student sports union. Some of the things I think that the sports union could severely improve with are the likes of the reformation of athletics club. I've been speaking to representatives of the club, and they seem to be struggling. Anna McElroy was saying to me that she'd love to get a proper club up and running again with proper training. And I think across some of the other clubs that could be the same. Another part of my campaign is going to be setting plans for the Jordanstown move in 2018, as the campus is moving to Belfast. I think this year is going to be quite challenging, especially for sport, as the Belfast campus doesn't have a lot of facilities, so it'll be a big push to see how we can deal with that. If you do want to follow my campaign, I have a Facebook page. Just search for Kieran for Sports President. A couple of funny videos and stuff up there at the moment. And it'd be great just to get a couple more likes and shares on. Thank you very much.
Next up we have let me see, Liam? Yeah, Liam O'Bannon, thank you.
Thanks, Ian. My name's Liam, as it says, I'm a final student at McGee, studying Human Resource Management at Morgan. And since year one, I've been very involved with sports, even before university as well. Hurling, soccer, and kids football at both club and county level. Taking us on to university. Second year, I was the chairman of the hurling team, which involved a lot of raising money for the club, setting budgets, where to spend money, when to spend money, organising referees, venues, and matches, etc. Which was very good for my organisational skills, setting out the goal for the second year of hurling team. Currently, I'm manager of the coaching team within the university as well as secretary, which also requires a lot of organisational skills and again, when to spend money and how to properly function in a routine or I started learning that coaching through money and funding events as well. A big part of my manifesto if elected sports president would be communication. It's been the four campuses regarding sports. I think talking through training stations and obviously the developments of sports clubs, how they're developing, what's working well, as as possible setbacks and weaknesses of their clubs and how they could be developed through possible out of pitch sessions or pitch sessions and how to promote teams through the university as well. Through social media, I think it would be a great idea for all university campuses. Another function within my manifesto would be additional courses for students, first aid courses, coaching courses, refereeing courses, etc. I think it's very beneficial to students, obviously for the CV stuff, possibly getting people in a minimum price to take control of these coaching courses, which would again be very beneficial for students at a minimum price as well. And the promotion of organisation within sports is a big part of my campaign as well, introducing international students to new sports they've also haven't tried before, not just Irish cultural sports, but any sports that require to try as well. I would be looking at possibly getting students to coach these courses, which will come at a minimum price, but very beneficial for students themselves, and also give the CV and development themselves. Thanks for listening, folks. Please see here and pass on the news today.
Thank you, Dr. Canada. Next up is James O'Halloran, and James, you have 3 minutes also for your opening speech.
Very much. My name is James O'Halloran, or Bruce. You probably see what I've posted and stuff about it in a minute. I just run for sports president at the university, and I hope they get it. Throughout my many years of being involved in various sports, I've represented my county at every level of hurling, been a senior, won numerous championships because I've been happy to play good teams. Since starting university, I've been involved in hurling and Gaelic teams, both in the Jordanstown campus and studied there for a year, but also on Korean campus after moving. I'm always on the channel hand new sports, and although I'm not always competing at university, I've enjoyed some success, including in the soccer, high academy youth cup medal, and local golf competitions. In my opinion, although winning is a large part of sport, it's not always the most important thing. So the three things I want to put forward if I was elected as sports president is experiment with new sports, get involved in the background running of teams, and also most importantly just to enjoy yourself. Because personally, enjoying yourself, there's no point in playing sport if you're not enjoying yourself. This year, some of the roles I was taking on, I was involved in the running of the hurling, Korean hurling team. I took the role of health and safety officer for the club. Position culminated with a number of issues in the club that would give me understanding problems that they raise, not only in the hurling club, but also in numerous clubs throughout the university. I was also joint camogie coach for the camogie team with Dayton Chains. This is really good because it gives me a chance to increase my coaching experience from what I already have and just made other friends, which I think is a massive part of sport. Last year I was a placement with a company called Craig Concrete. Through this job, I actually given me great experience of looking from other areas, not only your budget, but it helps you increase your budget for the club. University doesn't have to work with hard 24/7, and I think it's extremely important to get involved in sports in university because I personally have friends that have mental health issues. So I think this is a massive part of sport, and at university I think it's important to talk about things that happen at home. In terms of facilities, the new facility on the Korean campus will be a massive boost to students. So I think not only big clubs, but also smaller clubs, including the Q sports clubs and indoor sports clubs, should have facilities to use these. In terms of the Belfast campus movement, I think it's important that we start lobbying now for the 2018 move in order to set facilities up for the clubs in Belfast to use. Also for the McGee students, hopefully we can increase their facilities. I believe working together with university sports clubs and individuals, we can strengthen sport within the university.
Thank you. That's your to the rounds of questions and questions with Kieran. Kieran, so the first question to you will be, is there will be a new sports centre at Korean. How will you ensure that it's fully utilised by students and that it reflects their needs?
Well, initially I think that's by talking to the student body and talking to the sports people, what do they want within that new facility, and then what would be the best use of this facility, and based on the demand, and from there hopefully trying to decide what we can actually do. For example, if say bowling was the outside lawn bowls was one thing that people want to do, we would try our best to try and make that a thing, and that's just an example. But I definitely think talking to students, that communication process, students telling the sports union what they want, and then working from there would be my main point. Thank you.
Thank you. So the same question then to yourself, Liam, is there will be a new sports centre at Korean. How will you ensure that it's fully utilised by students and that it reflects their needs?
Well, first of all, we'll discuss the possibility of using this sports facility throughout Ulster University, not just Korean campus, but the possibility of other universities such as McGee, Johnstown, and Belfast use these facilities if they are needed. So I'll first involve all sports teams discussing their needs and how they would feel what would be most beneficial of the use of the pitch, how they feel they would use it and when it should be used, and also transportation to and from the university as well. So discussing with all universities of how this pitch could be fully used and maintained for the full use each semester. Thank you.
Okay, James, and the same question then yourself is, there will be a new sports centre at Korean. How will you ensure that it's fully utilised by students and that it reflects their needs?
The new sports facility is going to be a massive boost to Korean because not only Korean campus but also the surrounding areas. So it means the students will have facilities equal to that of Jordanstown, because for a long time Jordanstown excelled in facilities, whereas Korean and the likes of McGee have probably been held back. So I think this Korean because the likes of varsity tribes and things like that can come to Korean now because they have a new sports facility. So I think it's important for students that they can actively get involved and come to the sports president, whoever's elected, and talk to them in terms of what they need, so we can deliver the best service possible.
Thank you. So the second question is Liam up first. Liam, the question is, how do you intend to support and encourage new and upcoming clubs in order to increase sports diversity?
Well, first of all, encourage any club to set up a sports team and go for it. First of all, set up a committee to push for funding, budgets, and whatever they can do to involve these sports teams throughout the campuses. I think obviously communication as well with other campuses of how the other campuses can support what we're trying to develop. I can go about organising courses, online training sessions, whatever, and where these sports teams are set up, if there's a lot of interest throughout the other universities, should they be involved as well, especially for possible university teams as well, set aside where the training sessions should be had, if you want to make Korea, want to make Jonestown, if the team is having high interest in a team. Again, a big push for a committee, it's very keen and interested on promoting the sports team and staying communicated with all our university members involved in these teams, as well as the licensed sport president as well.
Thank you. Then James, the same question yourself. How do you intend to support and encourage new upcoming clubs in order to increase sports diversity?
I think it's important for any club, no matter what sport it is, to firstly, don't be scared to come forward if you're going to start a new club, but funding is a massive part of it. So obviously from the university, the sports union, you will get a budget, but I think it's also very important the students involved in the club aren't scared to go out into the local community and find funding for themselves, because throughout my placement year, it was I organised university events, and I thought it was a very important thing that basically the more money you have, money's not everything, but the more money you have in your budget, the better your sports club can be, because the better facilities you can get whatever you need in order to succeed. So I think it's important also to have the right leadership involved. So if you have a strong leadership and the right funds to do it.
And finally, then, Kieran, the same question yourself is, how do you intend to support and encourage new upcoming clubs to increase sports diversity?
For me, I think this comes a lot from who's looking to set it up. If you have a couple of people who are very passionate about the club or about the sport, it will succeed. I think for those people who are looking to do it, that communication process between the sports union and themselves, the club, organising a committee, and then from there, looking for facilities, and then looking to see, right, can we actually set up training and will people attend? After that, I think it's all about promotion, through emails, through being out in the student union, talking to different people as they walk past, and trying to get that interest, that buzz about the club, will then allow the club to succeed. From then, I think those representatives on that committee need to be pushing to self-fund, possibly for the first year. With the badminton club, we had to do that. For the first year, we had to go and do a backpacking down to Tesco's to try and get some money. I think that there's the process.
Okay, so this brings us then to our last question, and James is up first. James, how would you ensure representation and involvement of Korean in combined and diversity Ulster teams?
I think it's very important that in terms of university teams, that communication is a big part of it. So people need to communicate properly in terms of emails, phone calls, everything they need. And also the thing, university involves trades, so I think it shouldn't just be tried on one campus alone. So if, for example, a new Korean campus facility is built, they should have tried on each campus, so it doesn't involve people traveling as much. But also in terms of traveling, I think it's very important that the university put on adequate transport for people that are involved in university clubs. For example, Korean netball club who have to attend varsity trials in Jordanstown, so they're not out money for their own diesel and wearing careful cars. So the university could get them a bus for the day. And this doesn't just include the netball team, but any club involved in university sport.
The same question to yourself, Kieran, is how would you ensure representation and involvement of Korean in combined and diversity Ulster teams?
I think with the universities, I know there's been tension between different campuses and stuff about it. For me, it's all about preparation. If the athletes or whoever's going for the trials know when those dates are happening, when those trials are happening in advance, it allows them to prepare and work around that. Then those dates need to be communicated to give people the best chance to attend. I do think the trials need to take place on different campuses. I know we just had, for the badminton club, we just had our trials, and we had 12 people coming down from Coleraine, but then we had 30 people from the Georgetown campus and Belfast combined. So yes, I do think the trial should have been run up in here and possibly one up in McGee to make it as fair as possible. And then through that promotion, allowing people the best chance to attend those events will give us the strongest team to enter into varsity competitions.
Thank you. And then finally, the same question to yourself, Liam, is how would you ensure representation and involvement of Korean in combined inter-varsity Ulster teams?
Regarding the varsity teams, I think there should be a strong committee set in place with the other teams that are going for the varsity positions, and have a committee set in place who's prepared to promote players that they feel that are capable of competing at a level that's as high as the varsity, and also communicate with other universities and discussing where the best training stations be, where the best meeting stations be, possibly through social media, and these putting them to set up a way in which to communicate best the times to meet with other university players running for these positions. I think it's the best way to promote not just Korean throughout the University of Ulster as well, and promote as heavy.
Thank you. So for those questions, we're now going to move on to the 1 minute summation and Kieran got first. You've got 1 minute to sum up why Korean students should give you their vote.
So as I said in my opening statement, I think my experience as an athlete, coach, administrator, and mentor within sport gives me great experience within all these areas to lead your student sport union. I think balance between their sport and their education, and whether this is trying to medal at international competitions or participating once a week in a campus club, I do think that balance can be found for each student. If you would like to keep up with my campaign, as I said, just search for Kieran for Sports President, a few videos and stuff up on there. But if you see me about, come and say hello, and hopefully you can vote for me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Kieran. And then next up is Liam. Maybe you have 1 minute to sum up why Korean students give you their vote.
And I basically feel that I have experience throughout 2 years at university, working with sports teams to actively involve students and promote sports throughout the University of Ulster. The skills that required as well, which were necessary for the job, I feel like I can promote these and develop as well within the sports president role if I liked it. If you'd like to check them out on Facebook as well, there's a big push towards the communication within all campuses and their organisation throughout the University of Ulster as well, which was worked on highly, I feel like as sports president. Again, if you want to check the Facebook page, it's Game for Sports President in 16, 17, and extra as the coach.
Thank you, Liam. And finally, James, can you sum up in 1 minute why Korean students should give you their vote?
I think Korean should vote for me because I think I'm ready for the job. I'm the only person running from Korea. So, but in my opinion, it's not all, sports obviously important to be competitive, but it's also recreational. So it doesn't matter if you're competing once a week, round golf, whatever it is, or you're competing at the highest level. I still think everybody should get the chance to get involved, and for the facilities the University of Ulster have, or Ulster University have, everybody should have the chance to use them. So if I like the sports business, this will be my big push that everything's open to everybody, no matter what your ability is. So if you want to follow my campaign, my Facebook page, Bruce for Sports President 2016-17, or if you see me about, come with Black Craig. Pretty soon. So bye.
Kieran Chambers, Gail O'Bannon, and James O'Mullen. And just to let you know that only sports members can actually vote for these candidates in elections. So if you are a sports member, make sure you log on next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to cast your vote. Thank you, candidates. Can I please ask up your candidates for making campaigns and communication? Ellen, Anna, Nikki, and Jillian.
We still got sorry. Go on. You throw a green one up there. What? You throw a green shower there.
No, so what?
Throw a green.
It's
Just make sure I stay on. Just make sure.
He's our black Dan. You're our black
Dialects like well. Jesus. Was that what it was from?
Okay, Colleen, so these are your candidates for the upcoming elections for VP campaigns and communication. We've got Gillian Bell, Anna Callan, Ellen McGuinness, and Mickey Quigg. Each candidate has 3 minutes for starting off with Gillian.
Hiya, this is Sunshine. So I'm running for campaigns as you know, I'm currently a sportsman, but I've decided to move campaigns instead. So I get more involved with campaigns than I've had the chance to so far this year. So a lot of what I want to do are health related campaigns, so physical health, mental health and sexual health. Focusing very heavily on physical health, such as healthy eating and stuff. So this year I brought a motion to student council to add gender toilets into student facilities and also one for them outside of student union. So far, me and now Jonestown, we've successfully got them in place and are pushing to get them here. And Belfast is just going to have control of the facilities here in Belfast. So this year we've been involved in talks about the Greater Belfast development, and though that may not seem to affect you, well, as a whole it does, because there will be student movement between all four campuses, not just Jonestown Belfast, as the university moves to a model of centres of excellence where specific subjects will be focused around one campus. So you may find that you'll maybe move to a different campus in the next couple of years. Some other campaigns that I would plan to do would be around humanitarian projects and also just not just internationally but also homelessness here is quite a problem, and I also want to campaign on the very it's not very well spoken about, but the number one cause of death in young males is suicide, and I really want to love to get something done about it. It's not great. Okay.
Thank you, Gillian. So your next candidate is Anna. Anna, you've got 3 minutes for your own speech.
Hello, I'm Anna. I'm a final year architecture student at the Belfast campus at the minute. And before studying at Ulster University, I studied for a year in Liverpool for a foundation certificate. Whenever I moved back to Northern Ireland to study here, I found that there was a lot of negativity surrounding studying at Ulster University, and part of the reason I want to run for VP campaigns and communications is to try and turn the negative view that some people have of Ulster University into a positive view. For the past couple of years, I've been a brand ambassador for the Students' Union, and last year I was course rep and senior rep for my class and for the faculty. Before I started working for the Students' Union, I wasn't really aware of what the Students' Union was, what it was doing for the students. And as VP campaigns and communications, I've been trying to make my goal to make sure that students are aware of all social, political, cultural issues that are going on and how they're going to affect students, because I want to really be running campaigns that are relevant to students. I think that the Students' Union is underachieving, and I think that's partially down to the student facilities and what they can provide. So what I want to do is try and make the most of what we've got. I know with the Greater Belfast development stuff, like McGee and Coleraine can probably feel a bit overshadowed. And what I want to be doing is making sure that the students on Coleraine and McGee campuses know that their campus is just as important, and especially with Coleraine, knowing that there's a bar that's open that you can use, and bring students in to use the student union space. I think that would be a really great asset. I think you use a bit of a hectic, uncertain time at the minute, and I want to make sure that students at Coleraine are kind of aware of what's going on with their courses. I know that there's been course closures here, and it would be to make sure that the students who are here now know what's going on and they know what's happening, and to make sure that the current students aren't forgotten about, because I know that whenever the Greater Belfast development happens and all of the other restructuring takes place, a lot of you guys might have moved on by that stage, so it's to make sure that you guys, while you're here at university, get the best student experience that you deserve. I'm approachable, I'm hardworking. If you have any questions about my manifesto, come up and have a chat with me. I really want to make sure that the campus restructuring that's going on at the minute isn't going to affect the current students. So just come have a chat and like my Facebook page and see the VP campaigns.
Thank you, Anna. Next up, we have Ellen. Ellen, you also have 3 minutes for your lead speech.
Okay, hey guys, my name is Ellen Guinness. I'm a final year Management Advanced Management student here at the Coleraine campus. Over the past few years, I've been highly involved with the Student Union, from completing my placement year with UUSU to now fulfilling roles as a student councillor, a course rep, a student trustee, and a brand ambassador. So I think you'll agree that so far it's been a busy year for me. All of these roles have encouraged me to take the next step on the SU ladder. I feel that the experience I have could benefit me greatly if elected. I have an added advantage as I have seen both the staff and student perspective of the Student Union. And coming back as a student this year, I can see that a number of changes need to be made, and I truly believe that I have what it takes to strive toward these changes and make your Student Union and university life better. Over the past few years, there has been a decline in the number of volunteers through the Student Union. This is in large part due to the resignation of the volunteer coordinator. However, I don't feel that this is a good enough excuse. I plan to bring the volunteering status back to UUSU. This is by no means for the benefit of the Student Union, but for you as a student. Volunteering not only gives a number of social opportunities, but allows students to get experience in the relevant field and gain their edge board here at Ulster, and this is something that every student should have the opportunity to do. I know events are something that I mentioned in those candidate manifestos, but as an events management student, this is my forte. If elected as a core campus officer, I will support the campus VPs as much as they need me to, from planning, implementing, and delivering the events. Along with this, I will support societies and sports clubs in the events that they hold to ensure that they are getting the best response possible from both the Student Union and their fellow students. This falls into my policy around being a successful and accessible officer. I know that people may think traveling across the 4 campuses is tough, but as someone who has experienced this, I know that I can fulfill this post, and I plan to be on each campus once a week. This will give students the opportunity to come and see me with any issues they may have, or if they have any ideas or campaigns or way that they can change the Student Union. Something that I'm passionate about is more interaction with UUSU sport. I feel that there is still a divide between the Student Union and what was formerly known as the Sports Union, and this is something that can be overcome easily. If elected as VP Campaigns and Communications, I will use my role to run campaigns alongside the Sports President and the Sports Development Assistants, as this is something that all 4 campuses are lacking. So follow me on Facebook and Twitter at Ellen4VPCNC. Sure.
That's your round with Ellen McGuinness. Next up, we have Mickey Craig, and Mickey Craig's also looking for your vote, and you start 3 minutes for your presentation.
How's it going, folks? I'm Mickey Craig, I'm from the Gay campus. I'm the current VP. So I've been posting out for 2 years. I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot how the university works, how the Student Union works, and I've really grown in the last 2 years. A few things we've done just to name them off. Plan numerous campaigns and events. whether it be charity work, whether it be for the bar. I did a referendum in my first year, we were with 1,000 students voting, keep the campus name changed, so the university will change it from City Dairy from Gate to City Dairy, and it was through student unity, which kept. Yeah, just to go through my manifesto, a few things that I'm very passionate about. So first thing is mental health. So I was trained along with another student officer on how to deliver a PEP suicide awareness student, and I delivered that across 106 students this year, and with more than hand out as well. Mental health is a massive issue. There's still a stigma surrounding it. One out of five people aged 16 to 24 are getting help they need. That means 4 out of 5 people are still suffering alone. Create more awareness, talking about it, guys. That's what fixes the problem. Cuts, because I know the guys in the news and the newspapers, it's in the back of your head. I followed other student officers. I picked it outside University Council. I attended strikes. I voted against the cuts in University Senate. I have been in store numerous times with meeting Stephen Farry and the Dell Committee outlining the negative effects it have if the cuts continue and if they try to increase the rise in the education. And next year, if the elected VP campaign and something to do with that. Right event, guys, we've all probably heard of problems in your own rent accommodation and your friends. Any issues that survey didn't even know if they were on the deposit scheme. I plan to do a proper campaign next year, and this year as well. So people know what to look for when they're going rent accommodation first time and how to sign a contract. Let's get the problem before it arises. Sexual health. Can I get a hell yeah for sexual health? Okay, I believe there's more condoms on site, there should be more pop-up clinics, there should be more fun events, guys. We had a sexual health advisor in McGee last few weeks who were able to learn stuff and a fun environment at the same time. I'm really proud, guys. Please cast a vote for my if you get a chance. Put up them. Cheers, Katie.
Thank you, Madeline. So we're now going to move on to 4 rounds of questions, and Gillian, you're up first. So if you can tell us about a campaign you've been involved in, and what has changed because of it?
As I mentioned in my speech, I brought policy to student council, and while it wasn't actually a physical campaign, it was still using a maybe slightly different method of campaign, which is I brought the policy to implement gender toilets, and we are halfway there. We've got 2 out of 4 campuses with gender toilet facilities. I think that it's I have spoken to at least one trans student who now feels more comfortable using facilities and is happy that they've got facilities on campus that they can use, and they don't have to use the disabled toilet and have it, perhaps. So that's something I'm involved with. But I've also been involved with some other campaigns this year, but that's probably the one I'm going to.
Thank you, Gillian. So, Anna, the same question yourself. Tell us about a campaign you've been involved in and what changes happened because of it.
I'm going to stay sitting for this one. Last semester, I was involved in a campaign for increasing awareness about the Syrian refugees that were coming over. The thing that I really noticed was, as a branding, whenever I was down there helping out, having somebody on campus that was there, that was kind of chatting to people, encouraging them, as well as kind of having a social media campaign and posters up, was the thing that really made the difference, because people engage with you whenever you're on campus. And for me, as VP campaigns and communications, I would be trying to make sure that I was on every campus at least one day a week, and to make sure that I was there and present in the student union spaces and stuff, so that students know that I'm there and I'm someone that they can talk to. And I think the only way I'll get to know what students want and the events that students want to be put on and how they want the student union to try and engage them is through being on each campus. So I'll be here, I'll be trying to engage students and get involved to make sure that they're getting the best experience in their student union.
Thank you, Anna. So, the same question to please tell us about a campaign you've been involved in and what change has happened because of it.
So this semester, as a brand ambassador, I was involved with Love Week in the USU Korean. This was good as it allowed us to get the free condoms out there, but get the whole issue around sexual health out there, and it just allows students to see what actually can happen, and that it's not just have fun, love your life. So yeah, basically, that's one of many campaigns I've been involved in over the past year and a half. And if elected as VP campaigns, I would be on each campus every week, and I would run campaigns at least twice a month.
Thank you, Ellen. Mickey, if you can answer the same question, tell us about a campaign you've been involved in and what changes happened because of it.
I would go ahead and say the referendum was on my first year's VP. So to put it in context, the university tried to change the name from Mickey to City Dairy. They tried to do that in the student flag. And we held a referendum, we got over 1,000 votes of the students voting. And the campaign change was kept the same. I think it just shows what student activism the student union can do. And there should be more student activism on site, but it comes into things you're passionate about. So it comes into things like the need change, like the cost, like things that directly affect you. And it just shows that guys, one by one, we'll fall, but as a team, we stand strong together. University can't touch us.
Thank you. So that brings us to our next question. Anna, you're up first. How do you plan to work with VP Korean next year to get campaigns going on campus?
I think the really amazing thing about University of Ulster, or Ulster University actually, is that we have VPs on each campus that you can engage with. And for me, it would be making sure that whoever's elected into the VP Korean role, as soon as they're kind of elected, we meeting up and seeing. Because the thing I think is that the VPs on campus know far more about their own campus than I will ever know. And so it's making sure that I can get the most out of the VPs and help them students in Korean want. I think that Korean is a really important campus and a really impressive campus in itself because it's the only one that's managed to kind of keep a bar open. And I think that although a bar shouldn't centre around the student union experience, I think that it makes a difference. So I think I would be making sure that events were run in the student union space that students could come to. I would be working as hard as I could to be Korean to make sure that was happening.
The same question for yourself, Ellen, is how do you plan to work with VP Korean next week in regards to getting campaigns running on campus?
Okay, so if elected as VP Campaigns and Communications, I will be based on the Korean campus. I feel that there are so many more campaigns that can be run across the 4 campuses. But if on Korean, I will work with the VP to make sure that we have one campaign a week specifically for this campus to make sure that every issue is faced and by the students.
Thank you, Ellen. The same question to you. How do you plan to work with the VP Korean next year in regards to getting campaigns going on campus?
As a VP, working with campaigns officer, I think we found that it's very much early planning, so not leaving the last minute, getting plans in months in advance. It also comes down to strong communication. So whether it be email advice, diary advice, double checking, a phone call. Someone told me to start a job, it's easy to email, but a job, a phone call, can make all the difference, and you find more done. And as well as that, there's Anna mentioned about campus individuality. Campus VP, the Korean will know more about Korean than I will, and it's about opening up them links and being compromising what will work, and just having things done early. So plan early, be organised, be communication, and that's it. It'll be a success.
Thank you. And same question as yourself, Julian, is how do you plan to work with the VP Korean next year and get campaigns up and running on campus?
Well, I think it's important for the entire setup, all 7 officers to work as a team, and this year I've seen that it works. We get a lot more things done when we work as a team, and I've seen teamwork. And then, obviously, as we already said, we will know exactly what
Korean needs or what each campus needs. And there will be things that are cross-campus, and there will be things that are campus-specific, like issues with only one campus maybe, actually I saw that this year the current VP Korean has been doing campaigning with comms outside forums and things, stuff like that is really important. And stuff like that maybe starts from one campus can maybe go across other ones as well. And so definitely I think ideas come from VPs and definitely work well.
So next up is Alan. Alan, your question is, what is your main campaign priority, and if you are elected, how are you going to meaningfully involve Korean students about the campaign?
Okay, so as I said, I'm a gay, and this year my main campaign will be mental health. There was a lot of complaints from students this year about the mental health campaign that was run on the Korean campus, as they didn't feel that it was wide enough for the students. If elected, I would make sure that I have a week-long campaign running to look at every issue that goes through with mental health, to make sure that all students are comfortable and that they know that they can come to their campus VP or any elected officer with any problems that they have.
Thanks, Ellen. And next up is Mickey. And Mickey, your question is the same. So, what is your main campaign priority for the year if you're elected, and how are you going to meaningfully involve Korean students and tell them about this?
I think my main campaign focus for next year, if elected, will probably be the Right Learn campaign. I sort of outlined at the start. NUSU like survey 600 students don't know they're on the model scheme. We've all experienced, our friends experience mold in the house. Things that they're unacceptable, guys. If elected next year, I'll be saying things like postcards will be out, so you know what, around March time, you'll get a postcard say do's and don'ts, like a checklist for house hunting, you'll do's and don'ts for signing a contract, with the train stations on. We'll try and link with external providers, landlords, letting agencies, trying to provide USU charter, so that you know the best landlords and best agencies to go to. So we fixed the problem before the rise in the first this guy. So for that next year, that left me a bit concerned. So thank you.
You might the same question to yourself, Gillian, is what is your main campaign priority for the year if you're elected, and how are you going to meaningfully involve Korean students and inform them about this?
Well, my main priority is, as a general point, would be for health, more specifically physical health and health and well-being, such as exercise and healthy and just things like checking yourself for cancer and all other conditions as well. So basically just general health. And Korean is quite a great asset to get connected with because we've got life and health sciences here. So definitely a good strong back in there. And also marketing and media students. And we'd love to get them involved in campaigns, and great for CV and get involved with a campaign edition student. Yeah, that's.
Thank you. Is what is your main campaign priority for the year, and if you're elected, how are you going to meaningfully involve Korean students and inform them about this?
So I think one of my main campaigns would actually be making sure that the greater Belfast development that's going on the Belfast campus at the minute isn't going to affect the students on the other campuses. I think there's a really nice, active social life on the Korean campus. I know that sometimes I actually wish that I was at Korean because you have Kelly's on Wednesday, Arthur on Thursday, and there's loads of different things going on at Korean. So next year I'll be trying to make sure that Korean students are engaged, they know what's going on. I know that there's been course closures here and there's been cuts in higher education, and I want to make sure that students at Korean knew that their courses were safe, that they weren't having to pay additional course costs, and then that they were getting the best student experience out of their student union, so making sure that there were nights out on, and things to engage students on campus to make sure that they were having the best student experience possible.
Okay, so that brings us to our last question, and maybe this goes to you first. How do you plan to improve communication across all 4 campuses?
I think it's utilising what we have. So we have engaged our coach reps, our senior reps, we have our sports committee members, we have our select members, and it's about utilising them. So keep up to date at all times. The general, no one texts you that much. Using emails, and as well as that there, try and push our campus council, our student council even more. So like a student council, the more representative we're being, the more motions are being put to council, the more your student exec. So one of us up here and 6 others can do about it. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Mickey and Gillian. The same question to yourself is how do you plan to improve communication across all 4 campuses?
Well, I think my experience as sports president dealing with combining campus teams and getting involved in coordinating that. So this could be a bit of initial experience in dealing with across connecting students, with communicating with students between the different campuses. I think social media is definitely going to be a big asset in campaign in general, as well as getting students to get involved. I think we have structure in place like course reps and student council, and just basically using that, and also where they like students sports and societies where they're maybe similar, encouraging them to be more connected with other campuses. We've got multiple, like we've got 3.
Thank you, Gillian. And the same question to yourself is how do you plan to communicate across all 4 campuses?
One of the main things I think is that you can't improve communication across all 4 campuses until the communication within the campus itself is more solid. And I think for me, it would be starting by individually focusing on each campus and making sure that students are aware of what campaigns are going on, what events there are, what things the student union can do for everyone, and making the most of that. And then after that, trying to engage people across the 4 campuses. I think that people sometimes forget that there are another 4 campuses. I know people even that are up in Belfast and don't think about coming to Belfast to use the library, and people are maybe down in Coleraine and don't think about coming here to use the facilities. And I think it's kind of silly because we are one whole university and we have all of these facilities to make the most of. So as VP campaigns, I would just be trying to make sure that students are aware of everything that's going on in their individual campuses, and also the opportunities that there are across the different campuses through student council, through different clubs and societies, and through all the other events that the student union is going to put on.
Thank you, Anna. And then finally, Ellen, the same question to yourself is how do you plan to improve communication across all 4 campuses?
Okay, well, like Anna said, it's about looking at the individual campus first and then trying to get communication across all 4. I would look at the societies, similar societies on each campus, maybe joining up once or twice a month for events. This is already been done with the Nursing Society on Coleraine and McGee, and also the Link Society of Belfast and joining up with Core and McGee. I think that this is really good, and this can be done with other societies across the 4 campuses because they're so similar. Also, social media is a big thing in the student community, and I don't think there's enough being done with the student union social media to communicate with the students across the 4 campuses. And if elected, this is something that I'll work on next year.
Thank you, Ellen. So that's all your questions for your candidates. Next up is the 1-minute summation for each candidate. So Gillian, you have 1 minute to sum up why Coleraine students should give you their vote.
So I think that I can bring a bit of experience as an overall candidate, an overall officer, and just being able to, as a as a STEM graduate, but I think I can definitely bring well researched and definitely fact-based good quality campaigns. It's not about the amount of campaigns you use, though it is good to have loads of campaigns going on and being really active. It's about the good quality campaigns and not just running them for the sake of having a campaign going. I think I can do that through posters and physical presence and social media.
So that's your candidate, Gillian Bell. Next up is Anna. Anna, you have 1 minute to sum up why Coleraine students should give you their vote next week.
I just want the Coleraine students to know that just because I'm a Belfast student doesn't mean I'm going to forget about Coleraine next year. What I really want to do is try and connect the 4 campuses, because I know that through working with the Students' Union, I got to meet different people on different campuses. I got to meet Ellen a couple of years ago, and we kind of still stay in touch, and it's just a really nice thing to make kind of stuff, because like Northern Ireland is a small place, you can kind of travel, you can see each other, and most of us are from here. I think Coleraine students are like special in themselves because they have a kind of more collective student union feeling, and I just kind of want to make the most of this and make the most of the active social life on campus, as well as kind of making students aware of what's going on and making students feel secure in their student university or their university experience, so they know what's going on and they don't feel that their course is maybe at risk, and they know what's happening. And I just want like Coleraine students to know that I'm here and come and have a chat.
Next up your candidate, Anna Callan, and next up is Ellen McGuinness. Ellen, you have 1 minute to sum up why Coleraine students should vote for you.
Okay, so as I said in my speech, I know what it takes for this post, and I do believe that I can do it. I have so many ideas for the Student Union next year, and I feel that if elected, I can bring them forward. Yeah, and as Percy says, I'm the only student running for Coleraine for this post, so why do you not vote for me?
And finally up next is Mickey Craig. Mickey, you've got 1 minute to sum up why Coleraine students should give you their vote.
I'm hardworking and passionate. I have 2 years in the post of APPD. I know what campaigns are out. I know what issues affect you. And if elected next week, I'll bring the meaningful campaigns, I'll bring the relevant campaigns, and the campaigns to be measured. My mom says we love do that, so this is an extremely tough crowd. So yeah, guys, I really appreciate your vote next week. So please get cricket for the last time.
Thank you, Candice. So, Coleraine, these are your candidates for BT Campaigns and Communication. You have Gillian Bell, Anna Callan, Ellen McGuinness, and Mickey Quaid. They'll be looking for your number 1 vote next week, Monday to Wednesday, and through the USA. Can I now please ask all the candidates for BT Coleraine, Matthew McGraid and Kevin McStraffel. Okay, so your candidates for VP Coleraine. Again, you're going to have a 3-minute speech followed by 2 rounds of questions and a 1-minute summation. So we have Matthew first. Matthew, you have 3 minutes for your opening speech.
Hello, I'm Matthew McGraid. I'm currently a second-year student studying environmental science. I decided to run for Vice President of the Student Union Coleraine campus this year because I feel my ideas represent what us the students want and need. In my manifesto, I mentioned some ideas I feel need to be changed or improved across our campus. I'm very open to any ideas what the students may have. After all, if they aren't successful in these elections, I wouldn't be representing most of the students. We all come to the university to get the best chance of getting a good grade of courses. Therefore, we deserve to have the best facilities in doing so. So I plan to put forward that this campus will be a 24-hour silent studying area to have the best chance of going into examinations and getting the best marks possible. Our campus is the best student union within our within Ulster University, without a doubt. So I'm proud to ensure that we have events that attract everyone from different from different courses to our campus student union. I also plan to work along with all clubs and societies to ensure that they have the equal opportunity for events and fundraisers within the student union. Also, I'll be on the bridge this week, so if there's any more questions, don't be afraid to come up to me and the team. And also on the Facebook page, it's Matthew for PP, so please give that a like and a share. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthew. So next up we have Kevin. Kevin, you have 3 minutes for your opening speech.
Thanks, Kayla. Well, everyone, thanks for coming along today. My name is Kevin Stravick, and I'm a final-year journalist and French student here at Korean. I've been very heavily involved with the SU since first year. I started off as class rep and a rifle volunteer, and have ended up taking on further roles like student councillor, senior rep, and brand ambassador. But now I'm taking to go one step further and be your new VP Academic and Student Affairs for this campus. So in terms of what I want to do, the next academic year is going to bring about loads of change to Korean in particular. We're losing a load of courses like modern languages, business management, and computing as a result of budget cuts. And that's obviously going to be a big worry for anyone studying any of these subjects. The university has said that everyone's going to get the chance to complete their degree, but I want to ensure that this is delivered upon. I aim to set up a committee of course reps from all affected courses. They're planning to meet with at least twice a semester. I'll then use any issues raised from these meetings as points to bring up in faculty boards and learning and teaching committee meetings to ensure that students' needs are of the highest priority to senior management. I also aim to tackle some of the key learning and teaching issues that I've noticed come up time and time again in student experience forums through my role as senior rep. Students pay £3,805 a year currently, so lecturers cancelling a lecture with an hour's notice, or sometimes even less, is totally unacceptable. I believe lecturers should be required to give a minimum of 24 hours notice if they're going to cancel a lecture, and in the case of unforeseen circumstances such as illness or bereavement, there should be a system in place for out-of-hours emails to be sent to students. Many students commute, and not many can afford to waste £10 or £15 on a return train journey for a cancelled lecture. Away from the lecture theatres, I'm going to tackle housing, in particular the issue of carbon monoxide. I'm sure I'm going to tell you that carbon monoxide is an odorless, colourless gas, and that it's also poisonous. Its students' lives have been put at risk by the fact that it's not currently a legal requirement for private property to be fitted with carbon monoxide alarms. There have been a number of scares in the post-shared area over the last few years, and yet still so many student houses don't come fitted with alarms, which can buy for about £15. Not only am I committed to lobbying our politicians to try and get this law changed, but I want to work closely with local letting agencies to encourage landlords to buy alarms and request for all applicants to state clearly whether or not the alarm is fitted. £15 is a very small price to pay if it suits the life. Finally, I want to continue to make our SB bar even more consistent space. As someone who's secured the last 2 bar committee AGMs, I'm worried that there aren't enough students on the bar committee currently. Students deserve to have fun, and I want to increase student involvement in the committee, particularly society and sports club representatives. I also want to force a strong link with lives and events management students, who I think can offer a lot in terms of organising successful and enjoyable events. I have a few other points in my manifesto that just could fit in this speech, but if you have any questions, don't be afraid to come over and speak to me at the end. Chat with one of my team on the bridge this week, or message us on Facebook. Thank you.
That brings us to the first round of questions. And the first question to Matthew is, what experience can you bring to the role of VP in coding?
From experience, I suppose this year I've been involved with a committee. I'm secretary in the men's game committee here in Korean. It's a bit of an eye-opener, alright, how things is run and how strict they need to be and how tight things need to be, such as down with money, organising buses, organising pitches for training, stuff like that there. And that's really given me experience to understand what needs to be done and how everything needs to be done to get things within the university sorted.
Thank you, Matthew. So, same question for yourself, Kevin. What experience can you bring to the role of VP Korean?
I sort of covered a wee bit in opening speech, I have quite a lot of experience working with student union through roles such as being on student council, being a senior rep, and being a brand ambassador. And I feel like this really gave me the chance to learn a little bit more about the union. When I came in here as a first year, I didn't really know much about it, but I feel like I've got quite good knowledge of the inner workings of the union, and kind of going in, running for this role with a good idea of what they expect. In terms of sitting in student council, obviously there's a lot of policies being passed, and some of them have been mentioned earlier by some of the other candidates. So I feel like it's given me a really good grounding in knowing what students feel passionate about, what students feel are important issues to tackle. And I suppose I just feel that I have that kind of experience to just hit the ground running and work as hard as I can for the next year if I'm elected.
Thank you. So then the next and final question goes to Kevin first. And Kevin, how do you manage a sense of community on the Coleraine campus with so many course closures?
Obviously, I personally, having studied the language as part of my minor, I feel that the course closes very strongly. I was also very heavily involved in the languages campaign against the closure of the modern languages. So I definitely can feel the way that students are feeling kind of neglected or a bit disappointed if some of the courses being cut. And I understand how much of a worry it is for anyone who's currently in a course that's been cut or moved to another campus. But as I said earlier, I'd really like to set up a course cut committee, which would cover all courses that are being cut, even some of the other courses like history and media, film and journalism, where there are lecture cuts taking place. And I plan to try and draw them all together to ensure that their voices are represented at all levels of university management, and to ensure that any feedback they bring is brought straight to senior, so that they can act upon it, so that students don't feel that they're neglected.
Thank you. The same question in yourself, Matthew, as well as how do you manage a sense of community on campus with so many course closures?
I feel here at Coleraine we have so many, a wide variety of courses here that closure really doesn't give people coming to this campus a chance, as well as the people here already in the campus. I know in my course there's been already within the last few weeks there's been lecturers have been going to jobs and have got their jobs cut, which I feel is really just disadvantage to the student that start more missing out on their lectures already. So I think it's important that we kind of fight for what we have here. Like we have, like I said, such a wide variety from languages right through the history, right through the sciences and econometry, etc. And everyone knows here that the friends that class are so small and stuff like that, and you have friends that you're going to be with for the rest of your life probably. And I feel that it's important that we give ourselves there, and that we keep fighting for the courses.
Thank you. So that brings us to the close of questions. So each candidate will now have 1 minute to sum up why you should give them their vote next week. So first up, we have. Sorry, Matthew. Sorry, Matthew. It's been a long day.
I'm going to be in the bridge all week, so you can ask me questions there and stuff, but from the manifesto, I've mentioned stuff that not only did I feel that it's important that needs to change in our university, but from talking to people in other courses, I feel it's important that the changes need to be made as soon as possible, and if I'm elected in, I hope to get on the ball and get things moving as quick as possible. So thanks very much.
Thank you. So that's your candidate, Matthew Wade. Next up is Kevin Mizrahi, and Kevin, if you can have 1 minute to sum up why Coleraine should give you their vote.
Question for me. I've been an active and involved member of Students' Union for the past 2.5 years. I've been involved with the SU at all levels, and I've gained not just knowledge, but confidence through my participation in student council and senior activities. I've also spoken up to students outside of my work with the SU. I've played an active role in speaking out against the decision to close the School of Modern Languages, and I currently sit in a consultation board with other students, current staff medical officers, the head of school, and the dean. I'm not afraid to speak up and I feel strongly about something. I can promise you that I'll commit myself fully to everything I turn my hand to if you go to the end. So both for experience, for passion, and for dedication, keep it simple, okay then. Thank you.
Thank you for making those your two candidates for VP Korean. You've got Matthew McGray and Helen Stratford, and they're asking for your vote next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday through your portal, and you can vote online. And the elections party will actually be here as well from around 8 p.m. on Wednesday evening. So thank you, Korean. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, folks. Bye bye. Bye 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 bye.